Okay, so this is the last Remington bullet knife that I really wanted. These were knives that were made by Camillus that were reproductions, I think, of like the original Remington bullet knives that were made back in like the early 20th century, like the 1920s and stuff. These are reproductions of those, and they're made by Camillus, I believe. At least most of them are. I think up till 2007 or 2008, they were made by Camillus. And then, of course, a Chinese company bought Camillus, and then I think Bear and Sons started making them, and now Buck makes them. Uh, but yeah, this is the last bullet knife that I wanted, and this is the 1999 knife. It's on the pen blade, I guess. Yeah, this is the 1999 knife, and I believe they call it the ranch hand. Um, but it kind of reminded me of like a teardrop jack a little bit. It's not quite as like shaped as that, but you know, it's a two-bladed jackknife with a Spearmaster blade with that Remington etch on it there. And you know, of course, it's stamped Remington UMC USA made, and then a secondary pen blade. So for whatever reason, this kind of reminded me of like the bullet end jack that Great Eastern Cutlery makes, or like a I'm not sure what Shat Morgan Queen called theirs, but they're like, you know, teardrop jack or whatever they called it. Kind of reminded me of those for whatever reason. Probably because both blades come out of the same end. You know, it's still a jackknife, and it is kind of like it kind of gets fatter near the butt of the knife, but it's not like exaggerated like a teardrop jack or anything. Uh, got this bullet shield here. It's not pinned. I think it's just glued in, and these covers are like a jigged Delrin made to look like bone. Obviously, it's not actually bone. It's some sort of synthetic, probably Delrin. Nickel silver bolster and cap, brass pins. All of these Camillus made Remington knives that I've got have been put together extremely well. Uh, but they are kind of, you know, they're not Great Eastern Cutlery type quality. In other words, your backspring and liners, don't be surprised if there is some slight gaps like this one here. That doesn't affect anything. There's no blade play. The action on this knife is really good. Yeah, so the action's really good. No blade play. The only real issue is that little gap there, and the shield isn't fit perfectly. There's a gap right there, but that could honestly be the Delrin shrinking a little bit, although there's no gaps between the end cap or the bolster. So it's probably just a gap that was there when they made it. But yeah, you know, not the end of the world or anything. You can get these Remington bullet knives on eBay. Some of them start around like, I think I've seen them starting at like $40 for like a buy it now price, like $45 or something like that. And they go all the way up to ridiculous prices because it is eBay. I think I paid with everything, it was $63. I think it was like 55 or something like that. And then he was charging shipping and then of course tax. So, you know, $63, really well put together knife. $63 is about what you pay for a case knife. And, you know, obviously this is not a case knife, but they are put together really well and they are really nice knives. So, in my opinion, you know, worth the money for it. Now, I wouldn't pay some of the asking prices for these knives. I think people must like this one, or people must think that people like this one, or something. Because, like I said, there are these Remington bullet knives that are at a buy it now price of like $45. Uh, but a lot of these ones, these 1999 ranch hand knives, they were trying to sell them for like 75, $80 and stuff. Um, it might be worth that. It's not really what I wanted to pay because I had seen it cheaper before. So I ended up getting one for a price that I was happy with, and the knife's really nice. It's in good shape and everything. I don't think it had been used before I carried it and used it a little bit. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm really happy with this knife. I think that these are probably one of the best value knives that you're going to find on the secondary market, at least on eBay, because they are so well put together, and I think people kind of overlook them. But they are nice knives. Now, of course, these blades are just 440 steel, I think, or 420 steel. It's not a high-end steel. It's not a carbon steel. It'll hold an edge for a decent amount of time, probably. And it is stainless. So if you really like stainless steel, this might be a place to go instead of Great Eastern Cutlery. Because these knives are pretty well put together. And they were all stainless. Anyway, that's the Remington bullet knife for $19.99, also known as the ranch hand, I believe. All right, that's going to be it for today. Have a good day, guys.